Hey, how's it going, YouTube? Been a couple of months, had some military training in September, but let's dive into it. Road to Boston, episode 4, talk about a little bit of speed training. Everything's going good so far. I still have December marathon, Honolulu marathon. Trying to get this thing in like 3 hours and 25 minutes, about 35 seconds faster than what I did December of 2022. Definitely doable. I think I'm in the right glide path for that. So where am I at right now? I'm just going to give you just pretty much one run. You can watch the other episodes and you can see the kind of the workout plan, but this is where it's getting me. I had an aerobic long run in July 29th. Went 16 miles at an 8:26 pace. And then I did a aerobic long run in September, 16.14 miles at a 7:45 pace. And that's the deciding factor right there. Same heart rate. Right, so if I would have showed you this picture and the one on the right had 165 beats per minute, the pace and the heart rate don't make it like it makes sense. I ran faster, but I had a higher heart rate. It's the same heart rate, literally 40 seconds faster. That's what you want to see because my aerobic base is getting bigger, my endurance is getting stronger. Doing good. Everything's on glide path for Honolulu this year and so on and so forth. So speed workouts, let's talk about them. We have two different types of speed workouts that I hear commonly. And I just want to be able to have you decipher what the differences of them are. So one, we have intervals. Intervals and repetition. That's the other side of the house. So intervals, repetitions on the right. So intervals, we increase VO2 max. Repetition runs, we also increase VO2 max. Intervals, you train the body more so to spread oxygen quickly through the bloodstream while decreasing the buildup of lactic acid. Lactic acid gets built up in the bloodstream, which prevents the flow of oxygen supply that's going through your bloodstream to your muscles. And if your muscles aren't getting oxygen, guess what? You don't move any faster. Intervals helps decrease the productivity of lactic acid and speeds the amount of oxygen that's being flowed through the bloodstream. Repetition runs is more so training your muscles to run fast. And it also increases your anaerobic capacity. We'll talk more about anaerobic capacity in episode 6 of Road to Boston. Intervals is not really focused on recovery or rest in between each interval. It is more so focused on I'm running super fast and then I'm running super slow and then I'm running super fast and then I'm running super slow. Repetition runs, on the other hand, are I want to go balls out almost as hard as I can, like 90%, to try to meet a specific time. And then when I'm done with that repetition, I literally stop and I rest. Or I walk. And I walk or I rest for double the amount of time that I ran that repetition. So if I'm doing repetition runs and if I'm trying to run a quarter mile and I'm trying to break 2 minutes every quarter mile, that means I should be resting for 4 minutes after every quarter mile. Intervals is not the same. After a quarter mile, I am then jogging for a quarter mile, or after a half a mile, I am jogging for a half a mile. Two differences there. So an example of an interval workout would be a 15-minute warm-up, and then I would run 800 meters, which is a half a mile, and then after a half a mile run at whatever desired pace, 5K, 10K pace, half marathon pace, or marathon pace, I would then run a 400-meter slow jog. And then after a quarter mile slow jog, then I start number 2, and then I run super fast for another half a mile, and then I slow it back down. And then I end it with a 15-minute cool down. Repetition run, I'm going to do the same thing, open it up with my warm-up, but then I am going to run a half a mile, but I'm going to try to get a 3-minute and 15-second half a mile. And then I am going to walk or just not do anything for 5 minutes. And then I do it again. And I continue to do that until 1, I've hit my desired amount that I came out there to do that day, or 2, I failed to meet that 3-minute and 15-second time hack. Repetition runs because you're going so hard you do not want to overtrain and do one more. You just stop. That's how you get injured. And then you end it with a 15-minute cool down. So yeah, those are the two different types of speed workouts that you can do. But remember, you're only doing those 20% of the time. The other 80% you are working on your aerobic base by doing workouts that you have learned in episode 2. I'm not going to tell you about them because I'm going to force you to watch episode 2. But yeah, everything's doing good. November, I'll give you an update as to Honolulu Marathon. We'll talk a lot about that. My next episode, I'm going to give you tips on racing, like what to do on race day, before race day, kind of carb buildup, stuff like that. So that's what's going to happen in November. But I appreciate it. I'm up to 390 subscribers. I would love to get to 400. If you love this video or like it, go ahead and hit like down at the bottom. But mahalo again from Hawaii. Until November.